Kishenganga arbitration and viability of arbitration in resolving state-to-state dispute. International arbitration has been widely recognized as an efficient process for resolving state-to-state dispute. Factors such as procedural flexibility and party autonomy, which contribute to general appeal of international arbitration, play out to render arbitration as the preferable option for settlement of complex disputes between states. More importantly, however, the success and broader acceptance of arbitration in resolving state-to-state dispute lie in providing carefully balanced solutions. Jerome A. Cohen, an expert on East Asian law at the New York University, in a speech on South China Sea maritime dispute, summed up the benefit of resolving state-to-state dispute through international adjudication or arbitration in these words. Often, however, political leaders fear that an impartial tribunal might reject their blustery boast that international law totally supports their nation's position. To them, the domestic and international political risks of a fair decision seem unacceptable. Yet a third-party decision need not result in an all-or-nothing conclusion. The kind of issues that elude negotiated solution between neighbors but are taken to impartial determination frequently yield not 100% victory for one side or the other, but nuanced decisions that are in effect carefully balanced compromises that reflect the complexity of the claim considered. The recent arbitration between Pakistan and India, two rival South Asian states, over the Kishenganga hydroelectric project KHEP being constructed in Jammu and Kashmir is a good example of the approach outlined above. The Kishenganga arbitration has been discussed widely. Therefore, this pause briefly highlights a few distinctive features of Kishenganga arbitration proceeding and awards that support the acceptance and legitimacy of international arbitration as the mode for resolving state-to-state disputes. By way of background, the Kishenganga arbitration relates to the Indus Water Treaty, which was signed by Pakistan, India, and the World Bank in 1960. The treaty set out the right and obligation of India and Pakistan over the six rivers in Indus Basin in use of the eastern rivers, and Pakistan has the right of unrestricted use of the western rivers. However, the treaty allows India to use the western rivers in upstream areas under its control for, amongst other things, generation of hydroelectric power under limited circumstances. The treaty has often been celebrated for providing a compromise that has withered through three wars and various military mobilization between India and Pakistan. The Kishenganga arbitration related to design and construction of the KHEP in Jammu and Kashmir located on the Kishenganga or Neelam River. The KHEP is designed to generate power by diverting water from a dam site on the Kishenganga or Neelam River to another tributary of Jhelum at lower elevation located near Wular Lake through a system of tunnels with the water powering turbines having a capacity of up to 330 megawatts. After bilateral negotiation failed to resolve the dispute, Pakistan referred the matter to arbitration before a court of arbitration constituted under the treaty and supported by the Permanent Court of Arbitration, comprising of 7 members in May 2010. The essential difference between Pakistan and India, as the court summarized, were twofold: whether the planned diversion of water and other technical design features of the KHEP are in conformity with the provision of the treaty, and whether India was permitted under the treaty to use of the technique of drawdown flushing for sediment control in run-of-river plan such as the KHEP in circumstances other than unforeseen emergencies. Interim measures. One of the first steps in the arbitration was determination of Pakistan's request for interim measures. Pakistan requested the court to issue an order for provisional measures, amongst other things, requiring India to cease work on the KHEP until the court renders the award on merits in the proceeding. The treaty permit party to request interim measures necessary to safeguard its interests with respect to the matter in dispute, to avoid prejudice to the final solution of the dispute, or to avoid aggravation or extension of the dispute. In interpreting this term, the court found that the treaty provision functioned as lex specialis and didn't import the requirement of urgency and irreparable injury as developed in the ICJ's case law on provisional measures. The court found merit in the proposition that interim measures are necessary to avoid prejudice to the final solution. Instead of providing the far-reaching relief requested by Pakistan, the court carefully examined the aspect of the construction of the KHEP that would be necessary to safeguard the court's ability to render an effective award. The court found that the construction of the permanent dam which India proposed to place in and on the Kishenganga or Neelam riverbed falls squarely within the category of works that create a significant risk of prejudice to the final solution. In the circumstance, the court allowed India to build subsurface foundation of the dam, but ruled that India shall not construct any permanent works on or above the riverbed that may inhibit the restoration of the full flow of Kishenganga or Neelam River to its natural channel. The order on the interim measures is significant because the court, while imposing substantial restriction on India, didn't restrain it completely from engaging in construction works on the KHEP. Further, the court's approach, given the specific requirement of necessity in the Indus Water Treaty, contrasted with the criteria of urgency and irreparable injury for provision of interim measures in cases before the International Court of Justice. The partial award and clarification. The court issued the partial award on merits in February 2013. In the partial award, the court dismissed Pakistan's objection on intertributary transfer of water and ruled that the planned diversion of water between two tributaries in the KHEP was consistent with the term of the treaty.